Bill O'Reilly here. You are listening to the O'Reilly Update. Coming up next, the news with Mike Slater.
Thank you, Bill. It is Wednesday, April 5th, 2023. Here's what's happening today in America. Donald J. Trump was arrested. Donald Trump was arrested. Donald Trump was arrested. And Donald Trump was arrested. That's pretty much the biggest news story right now. Yesterday, Trump wrote at 1:20, headed to Lower Manhattan, the courthouse. Seems so surreal. Wow. They are going to arrest me. Can't believe this is happening in America. MAGA. Remember, Donald Trump was one of the most beloved people, not only in America, but one of the most beloved people in New York City. New Yorkers loved the Donald. He won the Ellis Island Award in 1986 with Muhammad Ali and Rosa Parks. Everyone wanted to be around the Donald. The Clintons invited him to Chelsea's wedding. They sat down to do the guest list and they said, who do we need at Chelsea's wedding? Well, we need Donald Trump to be there. And now he's more evil than Hitler. The judge over the criminal case said he will not impose a gag order, but the judge said that if the former president doesn't stop inciting violence, then he'll have to reconsider. And you're like, well, what violence? The other day, he had a Truth Social post where on the right-hand side of the picture was the DA of Manhattan, and on the left side, Donald Trump was holding a baseball bat. The judge said, I don't want to see that anymore. This is from NBC News. In court, Trump showed no discernible emotion. He did, however, noticeably sigh when the judge warned he could be removed if he was disruptive. Trump sighed and said, I know. Now, this is why I think we need cameras in the courtroom. We don't right now, which means everything we know about what happened in the courtroom is filtered through the bias of the few media members who are allowed in. I don't trust their interpretation of anything. I don't trust their reporting of what actually happened. I also don't trust how they interpret things. Like, how did Trump say, I know? How did he sigh? I want to hear that. Those details matter. We should absolutely have cameras in the courtroom. They did not take a mugshot of Donald Trump because pretty much everyone knows what Donald Trump looks like, so there's no need to identify him. The Democrats did not want there to be a mugshot because they knew Trump would make a ton of money off of it. This trial is a long way from over. The next court date is December 4th. This is going to go well past the 2024 election. So Trump won't only be the first president indicted for a crime, he'll be the first person to win the presidency while on trial for a crime. Bill's message of the day. Next.
The chairman of the Fed is promising more pain ahead. Last year, stocks dropped 20%, and this year could be worse. You are right to be worried. So please call the only precious metal dealer I trust, American Hartford Gold. They'll show you how to protect your savings and retirement accounts by diversifying your portfolio with physical gold and silver. Since I have been a client and spokesperson, the price of gold has appreciated more than 35%. So please call today and they'll have physical gold and silver delivered right to your door or put inside your IRA or 401k. Tell them Bill O'Reilly sent you, and they will give you up to $5,000 of free silver on your first order. Please call 877-444-GOLD, 877-444-GOLD, or text GOLD GOLD to 65532. Again, 877-444-GOLD or text GOLD to 65532. Time now for the O'Reilly Update message of the day. On this Wednesday, I have a very simple question for you. Are you proud of your country at this moment? It's difficult. I love my country. I understand as a historian how noble we have been over the years. How many billions of people we have freed all over the world, and that includes the slaves in the Civil War, which is denigrated by the left now. I mean, you had 500,000 Northern soldiers maimed, killed, dislocated, families uprooted to free the slaves. And that's like, oh, wow, that doesn't really matter, does it? But now we're seeing a political prosecution of a former president, Donald Trump. No doubt this is political. I've proved it 15 different ways. If you go to BillO'Reilly.com, the evidence is right before your eyes. And now we have this DA who's a fanatical leftist, by the way, funded by George Soros. And the guy says, well, he suppressed information, Trump did, that helped him get elected president. Well, that's not your purview, pal. That's not a Manhattan DA's purview. If he suppressed information, that's a federal charge because it was a federal election. So right away, you're into the twilight zone. And if you watch me on television and listen to me on the radio at night, I'm going to get into this very, very micro today, tomorrow, and explain to you why this is just a fraud. So it's hard to be proud of your country right now. I'm Bill O'Reilly. I approve the message by writing it. You can reach me, Bill at BillO'Reilly.com, Bill at BillO'Reilly.com, name and town if you wish to opine. Let's go to the mail. Jacqueline, concierge member, direct access to me, Jacqueline. Bill, every news outlet I watch, all conservative, have said that Donald Trump could possibly be handcuffed. Liberal news outlets also say with glee, unlike conservative news. You, however, stated on the No Spin News a few weeks ago, the Secret Service would not allow it. Thank you for being honest. I knew. Look, I told you there wasn't going to be a mugshot, not going to be any, any dog and pony show at all, because the Secret Service not going to do it. D. Allen, Dallas, Texas. Mr. O, the Trump criminal case could last for years. He could already be elected president by the time we hear the verdict. True, but I think it's going to. I think things are going to happen quickly in his favor. But I don't know. I don't know all the facts. That was a guess. Jason Hunt, Scottsdale, Arizona. I believe President Trump's policies were good and beneficial. I'm just worried that hope for unity among the American people would not be able to survive a second term by him. It's a good point. Douglas Melly, Peyton, Colorado. I disagree with your talking points memo on Monday, O'Reilly. You asserted there is a political war. War would imply two sides using instruments of power against each other. What we are seeing is a political attack by the left. Oh, come on. Conservative outlets are fighting back hard. If you listen to talk radio, you got to know that. Donna, concierge member. Thank you, Donna. I feel bad for my grandkids. I'm honestly starting to hate this country and the world. Don't do that. History goes in cycles. And sometimes we're in a down cycle now, no doubt about it. Down cycle. Sometimes shock is needed to reverse the down cycle. Don't hate your country. Your country has done more for you and your grandkids and everybody else, and you know it. You know it. In a moment, something you might not know. If you own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles and have an auto warranty about to expire or have no warranty at all, listen up. Car Shield has a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that's now available to the public. Save on out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. So please call Car Shield now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. 800-925-7584 for a free quote. This protection plan is at an all-time low in price. Drivers who activate the vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. So please call for your free quote, 800-925-7584, 800-925-7584. Hey, what do you have to lose? 800-925-7584. Now the O'Reilly Update brings you something you might not know. 402 years ago today, a British ship departed the New World heading for Plymouth, England. After 265 days at sea and on land, half her crew and passengers were dead. This is the story of the Mayflower's 2 voyages. In the early 17th century, the British Crown began persecuting all subjects who opposed the Church of England. A small group of religious fanatics sought freedom in the colonies. The separatists secured financial backing from a group of investors called the London Adventurers, who were promised a huge share of the new colony's profits from crops and furs. The Mayflower left the south coast of Britain on September 16, 1620. After 66 days at sea, the ship missed its original destination of Virginia, instead arriving off the coast of Massachusetts. The sailors named the outpost Plymouth after the English port. Life in the New World was brutal. Within 6 months, half of the colonists had died from disease and starvation. Out of desperation, the others forged alliances with local Indians. A Native American named Squanto taught the settlers how to survive in the harsh North American wilderness. As an expression of gratitude, the English invited Squanto and his village for a 3-day feast, the first Thanksgiving. On April 5th, 1621, 110 days after arriving in the New World, Mayflower Captain Christopher Jones and his remaining crew left the colony and returned to Europe. The aging Mayflower was then scrapped for timber. The wood was used to erect a small barn in central England that still stands today. And here's something else you might not know. A few famous Americans can trace their roots directly back to the passengers of the Mayflower. Notable descendants include John Adams, painter Norman Rockwell, actor Humphrey Bogart, Clint Eastwood, Bing Crosby, Richard Gere, Franklin Roosevelt, George Bush, and celebrity chef Julia Child. All had ancestors on the Mayflower. Back after this.
Ad paid for by the Sentinel Group. Attention veterans, active duty military, civilians, and contractors. If you were issued earplugs between 1999 and 2015 and were diagnosed with hearing loss or ringing in the ears, you may be entitled to compensation. The manufacturer of these military earplugs recently paid $9.1 million to resolve claims that their earplugs were defective, potentially exposing service members to damaging sound levels that could have resulted in hearing loss or tinnitus. If you or a loved one were issued earplugs and were diagnosed with tinnitus or hearing loss, don't wait. You fought for this country, and our attorneys want to fight for you. Call 800-687-1936 now for a free legal consultation and to see if you may be eligible to file a claim. Time restrictions may apply, and you pay nothing unless there's a recovery in your favor. So call 800-687-1936 now. Again, 800-687-1936. That's 800-687-1936.
Thank you for listening to the O'Reilly Update. I am Bill O'Reilly. No spin, just facts, and always looking out for you.